Well, my sort of impressions of the webinar today are that we were looking at the financial challenges that face organisations and how they can best deal with them. And I think we ignited some thoughts amongst some of the questions we were getting around what a big challenge it is and how organisations are going to have to work together to overcome those challenges. From my point of view, the overall themes of the webinar today were things around leadership and culture, collaboration, public engagement, and I think probably one of the most important ones of those is culture. We have to have the right culture within our public services to be able to deliver on the transformation agenda. The one key message I would want delegates to take away from the webinar today is to not forget that the most important person in all of this is the individual, the citizen that needs to access services. And whenever they're thinking about transformational change or indeed making cuts, they need to consider the needs of that individual and engage with them, either presumably collectively rather than as a group of individuals, on what they need from their local council or health service provider or any other public service organisation.
We need to start looking at the longer term. We've got to start early in terms of our financial planning. We've got to set the process dates earlier. Look at what is working elsewhere. If you're able to start the cycle earlier, then you're able to get the public more involved through proper consultation and engagement. You need to work on the communication aspects. Those can be via paper, online, social media, through meetings, but it's essential that you get your messages across. You need to have a medium-term financial plan. And the figure part, the spreadsheet part, is the most important in that, and it has to be updated on a regular basis. It's got to be accessible, and again, it's got to be communicated. And the finance profession is in an excellent position in terms of the knowledge and understanding it has of services. It's excellent in terms of the way it gathers and manipulates data, and it also brings practical and common sense views to projects moving forward. My one key message would be around that you have to try a mix of approaches. You can't have one approach. The problem is too large to be solved with just one approach. You can't have all your eggs in one basket. And most importantly, you have to stay positive and optimistic.
Well, Grant Thornton have been undertaking an annual review of the financial resilience and sustainability of local government in England over the last 4 years. So we've covered the year before the spending round in October 2010, and our most recent report came out in December, Rising to the Challenge, and that looked at 13-14 year in terms of delivery and then also financial planning for the current and future years. I came up with the idea of tipping point concepts, and this was because I was really sort of considering how long can local government can deliver whatever central government throws at it, whatever its political hue, because it's been doing it since as long as I've been working in the sector. We sort of then had a dialogue with the sector about these tipping point scenarios the following year. They validated them and indeed added some scenarios, and we also looked, we did a bit of a forward look around when a tipping point scenario might hit a local authority, and 80% of local government in England said it would be 15-16 or 16-17. So our year 3 report was tipping point 2016 ? And I think what our year 4 report shows is a reasonably positive, probably our most positive outlook on local government. It's continued to improve its systems, processes and procedures around strategic financial planning, around financial management, financial governance. And I think Grant Thornton would like to feel we've got some credit in that because this has been done through our value for money programmes. And of course we go back year on year to review the recommendations that we've made locally, because it's all based on very detailed analysis of 40% of local government in England. And so whilst there is still a risk of a tipping point scenario taking place for some local authorities, it's probably our most positive national report thus far. If I was to think of the key message for colleagues in Welsh local government and broader public services is do not underestimate the size of the challenge. That is really, really important, because after the spending round in 2010, there was very few local authorities whose worst case scenario in terms of funding, government funding, was actually within the envelope of the reality. And there was plenty of others that had their heads in the sand who didn't really consider any worst case scenario. So that would be it. Never underestimate the size of the challenge.